It's been a busy week in the Inland Northwest, so let's get you caught up with the KREM 2 News Week in Review. I'm Cody Proctor. Thanks for being here with us. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look back at some of the news you might have missed from the past week. So let's get started with one of the biggest stories from the Inland Northwest.
Yeah, well, 34th Avenue is quiet tonight after an evening of cop sirens and gunshots. It all started at this house right here behind me. A deadly shooting Wednesday night leaves neighbors on 34th Avenue shaken.
I slept like 2 hours maybe.
Olena and Vitaly Chikolev live right across the street from the crime scene. They were putting their daughters to bed when it happened.
I heard yelling, like arguing really loud, like 2-3 people. Then I heard like a lot of pops, like pop, 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 a lot of gunshots.
You see it in movies and stuff, but you don't see it in real life. Somebody getting pulled out, making some last little noises, full of holes. It just really kind of hits you differently.
Vitaly says he saw everything up close and personal when he ran over to help his neighbor.
I went right through the grass. Yeah, I was a couple of feet away from the door, so.
Before first responders got there.
He seemed obviously panicked, People were asking questions, and I just kind of told everyone to calm down so we could pray.
According to the Spokane Police Department, the shooting happened around 8:45. Multiple neighbors in the area say the 2 men who died were inside of a car in the driveway of the house. They got into a verbal confrontation, which then turned violent with the man who lives in the house. SPD believes the 3 men knew each other, but right now, their exact relationship is still under investigation. Olena and her family have been living in the area for close to a decade, but say this is a night they will never forget.
My daughter started shaking and me too, because it was first time we experienced that. It never happened to us.
They're young. We don't want them to get traumatized by something like this.
Spokane police say there was no additional threat to the community at this time and that no one else was hurt during the shooting. SPD says there will be no new updates on the case as of right now, but did confirm that an investigation is still ongoing. In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Well, right now, a Spokane County judge is reviewing the Attorney General's motion to release Kevin Coe. It's a motion to dismiss. Now, by law, the state must evaluate Coe every year and prove he's mentally ill and dangerous to keep him confined. In the motion to dismiss, the AG's office says there is not enough evidence to confine Coe. They cite a 2024 psychology report that says he no longer meets the criteria for a sexually violent predator. A few months ago, Coe's attorney asked for an end to his civil commitment. He's been involuntarily confined to McNeil Island since 2008. Now, the AG's office says Coe would still be required to register as a sex offender for the remainder of his life. Right now, the next scheduled hearing for this case is next Thursday, and that's the earliest we could expect a ruling on the motion to release him. In the newsroom, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
It's been 128 days since those 3 little girls were reported missing by their mother, Whitney. After an expansive manhunt sprawling several states, their killer, their father, was discovered less than a mile from the murder scene.
We found Mr. Decker. He's accounted for, and then we can say that threat to our community is confirmed, no longer a threat.
The announcement coming from a grateful and somber Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison.
One of the most horrific crimes that we've seen in Chelan County, and we're glad to put it behind us. Personally, I certainly just feel for the family. I couldn't imagine that as a father, to lose any of my kids, especially all 3. And I hope that we never see anything like this in Chelan County again.
Travis Decker suffocated his 3 little girls at a campsite near Leavenworth in May. Authorities conducted 3 fruitless searches spanning 2,900 square miles in several states. It was a 4th that began a few weeks ago with the help of a specially trained Washington State Patrol psychologist that pinpointed where Decker would likely be hiding.
She had highlighted an area of interest that was on Grindstone Mountain. She even guesstimated about what elevation we were looking at. We really appreciate her insight.
In the end, Decker's body was found on Grindstone Mountain, just 3/4 of a mile from the murder scene. DNA testing and several items of clothing confirming his identity.
We understand no matter what, this is not going to bring Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia back. If anything, we just hope that maybe she would sleep better at night. She wouldn't be looking over her shoulder. And to Whitney, certainly hope you know that we never gave up, and Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, their memories will live on forever. Thank you.
The coroner's office is trying to determine exactly how and when Travis Decker died. They say it will likely be months before we begin to get those answers, if we ever get them definitively. In Wenatchee, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
As we go to break, here's a check of your forecast. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Week in Review. Each weekend, we walk you through headlines from the past week in the Inland Northwest.
This month, the Department of Defense quietly published a list of new timelines for PFAS cleanup at more than 100 military sites. Among them, Fairchild Air Force Base, now facing a cleanup delay of 6 years, says John Hancock.
So the idea of a 6-year delay hurts us because it's an immediate public health problem.
President of the West Plains Water Coalition and on Fairchild Restoration Advisory Board, Hancock should be in the know.
I heard about it when the New York Times reporter contacted me to say, what do you know about Fairchild and what's going on?
When was that?
That was Tuesday of last week.
He's been fighting for years for a plan to clean up the toxic chemical found in West Plains water, attributed to a common firefighting foam. It was first detected near the Air Force Base in 2017. Hancock says to date, Fairchild and the Department of Defense are still in the investigation and planning stage of contamination cleanup.
But 4 years is a long time to wait for the remedial investigation, and then to spend 6 years trying to figure out what to do is just too slow.
Right now, DoD lists Fairchild in the second tier. That's remedial investigation and feasibility study. Under this new delayed timeline, though, that's not expected to be complete until mid-2032. By DoD's own definitions, actual cleanup of PFAS chemicals doesn't happen until much later.
Fairchild is in the top 7% of troubled PFAS Air Force bases. So we think that priority should be expressed in the way that Fairchild is really upfront and sincere and open about working to solve the problems.
Hancock still has yet to hear from Fairchild on the delay and what's behind it.
There's no reason given.
KREM 2's request for comment from the Air Force Base was not returned Thursday. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Well, details of this boat crash were just released, but the investigation continues. In the meantime, the family of Jose Gomez is grieving alongside the community.
The Sandpoint community is in mourning.
He's supposed to be here with me till a lot longer.
Sandra Gomez is grieving. Her husband, Jose, was a passenger in a boat that crashed onto Cottage Island on Lake Pend Oreille. Our news partners with the Bonner County Daily Bee report the boat landed 50 feet on shore. Sandra and her son, John, tell me they are heartbroken.
My dad was a staple to the community of Sandpoint, and he ran Gription Tire Pros in North Idaho Towing like it was his second family.
He was the best person. I was so lucky to have him and him love me.
They say Jose Gomez was a proud business owner of Gription Tire Pros and North Idaho Towing.
He was a funny boss. He cared for people, and people that worked for him, everybody was family.
His employees told me that Jose had such an impact on them. As we interviewed, the group stood next to Sandra to show her support and love.
He was the funniest son of a gun I ever knew. He was reliable. He never met a stranger. Everybody loved him.
Jeff Little, a longtime friend and business partner, says he is now committed to filling the void left by Gomez.
I'm going to take care of his family. I get choked up, I don't know.
You guys are all making... A family of 6 kids and 2 grandchildren, Sandra Gomez says they are trying to look toward the future.
And he had major plans that I'm going to try to keep going.
The family invites the community for a special service to honor the life of Jose Gomez on October 3rd. More details will be found on our website. For now, I'm reporting at Lake Pend Oreille, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Just off the beaten path of Warren Street here in Hayden, Idaho, 31 kokanee salmon were just found laying here in this plot of land. A mystery Idaho Fish and Game has been trying to solve for the last week.
This hits us just as hard as well.
Why these 31 sport fish were wasted and just left in a pile. TJ Ross, a spokesperson for the Panhandle region of Idaho Fish and Game, says although kokanee are abundant throughout the inland Northwest, they still play a vital role in our ecosystem.
And we put a lot of emphasis on managing for kokanee. Anglers love to catch them. The meat quality is really good, so they're very popular sport fish species. They also played a really important role for feeding other fish species that are high priority.
Now, judging by the size of the fish, Idaho Fish and Game believe that the kokanee actually came from here, Lake Coeur d'Alene. On top of illegally dumping these fish, Ross says the organization believes they were caught illegally as well.
So anytime a fish or an animal is illegally harvested, it's a big deal. From our perspective, that is stealing opportunity from law-abiding citizens of Idaho.
While it is still early in the investigation, Idaho Fish and Game is urging the community to come forward with tips as to who committed these crimes.
So the reasons that people illegally take and waste animals, I don't think I will ever understand.
Idaho Fish and Game says there is a reward for anyone who submits a tip that leads to charges. We have how you can do that up on our website, KREM.com. In Hayden, Idaho, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Thanks for joining KREM 2 News this weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Right now, we're taking a look back at some of the news stories from the past week.
A shocking moment caught on camera just before 8 p.m. Monday night. A man identified by the Spokane County Sheriff's Office as 46-year-old Tony Gust shattering a drive-through window of a Dutch Bros coffee location on East 1st Avenue in Spokane Valley with a large knife. An employee inside the business called 911. Deputies arrived a short time later and took Gust to the Spokane County Jail. Deputies later recovered the knife.
One of our directors called me right away, so I probably knew within 2 minutes of the incident happening.
Kevin Parker is the owner of all Spokane region Dutch Bros locations. He says he was concerned about his staff's safety and is worried about himself and other business owners.
That kind of stuff is becoming more and more common in Spokane and has me very concerned.
Adding to his concerns, deputies say Gust targeted another business just a few hours later. Gust was booked into Spokane County Jail with charges of malicious mischief in the third degree and intimidation with a weapon. He was later released, only to be arrested again less than 4 hours later. At around 11:40 p.m. the same day, Spokane police responded to another vandalism call of someone trying to break windows with a mop handle at a business on West Summit Parkway. Officers soon determined it was Gust. Turns out, deputies say, he was released from custody earlier that night due to overcrowding at the jail. After his second arrest, Gust remains in custody on second-degree commercial burglary, arson, and first-degree malicious mischief charges. It marks Gust's 9th arrest this year alone. His previous arrests include charges of assault and criminal trespassing between February and September of this year. Of Gust's 9 arrests, he was released 3 times due to jail overcrowding.
It's really important the city has nursed back to health, and we really need people who understand how important that is.
Parker says the situation is frustrating for him and other business owners. The Sheriff's Office estimates Gust's most recent alleged vandalism cost the business roughly $6,500 in repairs.
I wonder if we should start sending the bill to the city and county for them to fix the vandalism that keeps taking place.
For now, Gust remains in jail on $36,500 bond. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Former Boise Mayor Dave Beater is on his way back to the Treasure Valley tonight, but not before he made a stop to speak with Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown to offer some advice. He thinks the city is missing a critical piece of its homeless plan. Spokane's comprehensive plan to address homelessness is ever evolving, borrowing ideas from major cities like Denver and Houston. But one former official from closer to home,
you have a city with great bones,
thinks the city should borrow from his playbook.
At the same time, I was a little taken aback by the street level camping and open drug use.
Dave Beater served 16 years as Boise's mayor. This week he visited the Lilac City to speak at the Spokane Business Association dinner about his homelessness strategy. Gavin Cooley with SBA says he hopes Beater's message brings a greater sense of urgency.
I mean, if loss of life is a measure of an emergency or potential loss of life, This is by far the worst emergency Spokane has ever faced, by multiples.
While Beater's administration helped open treatment centers and even a 40-unit housing complex for the chronically homeless, he says one element that worked was citing street campers.
I think what's missing again is you just have to have this push, off the street and to services.
Beater points to an encampment that sprang up near downtown Boise in 2015 during the Martin v. Boise lawsuit. That landmark case challenged anti-camping ordinances against the unhoused. He says police mistakenly thought they couldn't issue citations during the litigation.
But we learned if we had doubt, nothing else changed in the city except the failure to issue citations. So we know cause and effect. We had about 400 citations in the year after the camp. 2018, we had 6 total citations.
Spokane reinstated an updated camping ban in July, but many argue it's not strict enough.
I think a lot of folks think that we aren't responding to complaints of camping. I looked at the map yesterday. We have 208 active camping complaints that we are responding to. And that's all across the city.
Beater emphasizes it's not one method that works, and no single entity will succeed alone. Now, Erin Hutt with the city says Mayor Brown and Beater did have a productive conversation, and she says the main takeaway from that conversation was the importance of outreach and the support of the private sector. She says that's something that the city is going to keep pushing for in its own homelessness plan. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Welcome back to the KREM 2 News, a week in review. I hope you're having a great weekend. Let's get back to one more story you might have missed this past week.
He was someone who led by example.
He planted seeds of capability that got nurtured through persistence and perseverance.
I always felt like he was just a guiding light.
It's my pleasure to announce that this is the Herman Lee Cavanis Track and Field and of Ferris High School, yeah.
Herm Cavanis was my coach all through the 3 years that I was here. Yeah, I started here in 1963 as a sophomore when Ferris was a new high school. And of course, we did not have a beautiful track like this at that time. Herm began a string of dual meet wins and state champions.
He didn't expect me to be first or the fastest runner, but he always wanted me to do my best and to always give it my all.
We go many places and I'll hear someone say, Coach Cavanis, and unbelievable, he will remember many of those. Not only could he remember the students, but many times he could remember their times, how high they jumped, and he just enjoyed the kids that he taught and coached.
Herm's influence goes well beyond this track, but I think this track exemplifies what Herm did here, his commitment.
Herm was a good man. Herm was a great man. He was the greatest man.
I think it stands there as a tribute to the community and for the things that he believed in, and so just very pleased for the honor.
Keep it here for more news and weather updates throughout the weekend. And don't forget, you can watch our latest newscasts anytime on your schedule on KREM 2 Plus. Download and watch right now for free. I'm Cody Proctor. Thank you for watching KREM 2 News Week in Review.